I do two different bodies of work, which is not uncommon for artists, where they will work in one body and then get curious and develop something else. I've always done wheel throwing, so functional work, that's what originally drew me to clay. The hand-built stuff's a little bit more difficult to understand, but I always tell people that ceramics is a spectrum between sculpture and function, and so the hand-built stuff is kind of right in the middle, so it references vessels, but it's more sculptural. They're not utilitarian in the sense that somebody's going to use them, and so they're more visual statements. The hand-built work is sort of in a place where I use mechanical language from sort of nostalgic items, watering cans, old oil funnels, things like that you see in antique shops, silos, mufflers on the side of the road, things that are dented, beat up. And so the work is referencing metal, using some similar processes in terms of sheets of clay as opposed to sheets of metal. And then there was no interest in recreating those objects for me, so in terms of making it hyper-realism, so I started using color and texture and other things to make them more expressive, more imaginative. And so I'm first generation off the farm, and so these objects that were in our garage growing up, things that my dad had salvaged and kept. I was always a tinkerer as a kid, so finding things in the basement, finding things in the garage that I would play with, build, make my own bow and arrows, things like that. So I was always building stuff. And so when you start thinking about building as a clay artist, you have to think about what the process is. So the potter's wheel solves that. You center the clay, you throw the pot. But if you're going to hand build, you have to think about, are you coiling? Are you slab building? So these objects provided not just sort of an inspiration in terms of being interesting forms, but then sort of a roadmap for how to build vertical forms and start working with vessels, hollow objects, seams, rivets, and things like that to build complex forms, and using clay slurry and score and slipping rather than welding and all of that. And when I first started this body of work, I had all these photos of peeling paint, rusting metal, things that were falling apart. I didn't want plastic looking forms. I wanted something that looked aged and metal. So the texturing is part of the process that happens when the clay is still soft, and it's just rubbing concrete aggregate all over the surface to pit it, to make it look dinged up and aged. And then I put a copper oxide wash on and sponge it away so that it stays in all those crevices. And then that burns through the glaze. So it creates something that has some depth to it, something that looks like it's been well loved or forgotten, either one. Giving it the look that it is not something that was just manufactured has always been interesting to me. I started with wheel throwing, so I was interested in making vessels that were utilitarian, that were meant to be used every day. I've never given up that interest, still do that all the time. But when I started thinking about developing new work, I thought, well, I don't want to leave that fully behind, but I need to do something that's different. I've always been very interested in vessels, and ceramics is largely about vessels. For example, the teapot is sort of a content area, just like a landscape or a portrait is for a painter. So when I started working on these newer forms, I thought, well, they need to be vessels, but they don't need to be utilitarian. They can look functional, they can look funky, they can be strange, but they need to reference this other imaginative, expressive side of work that I'm trying to develop. And so taking the metal language as sort of a starting point and then putting that through the filter of my creativity and the materials and coming out the other end with something that you can see the connection, but it's been put through a mixer. That comes out the other end, something different. Artists rarely just have one lane, right? That they've kind of got to move back and forth. So sometimes they move from media to media, or they move within a certain media. The wheel thrown work and the hand-built work serve different functions in my sort of creative life. The hand-built work is slower. It's quieter. It's more unique. Each piece is a little bit more its own little being. I'm not trying to, create the same thing over and over again like you do with the potter's wheel. So I think over, 25, 26 years of working, it's been very helpful to have both of those aspects of my creative life being fulfilled. Something that's I can crank out 25 coffee mugs and feel like I've got a whole lot done, or I can spend 2 or 3 hours trying to figure out how to get a spout and handle put on a piece. But either one of those, if I do one of them for too long, I start kind of getting bogged down and I have to kind of jump back over to the other thing. I think it helps loosen up the rocks in my head a little bit.